Bangkok, city of drunken pleasures, city of blow your skirt up delicious food, city of temples, city of life. If you're traveling to Thailand or even Southeast Asia in general, there's a good chance you'll begin your trip in Bangkok. I have to be honest, the first time I visited this wild city, I was not a fan. Too loud, too frenetic, a dizzying mess of drunken tourists, noisy traffic, and scam artists. But I did it wrong. And upon further visits, I realized that underneath the seedy stereotypes, this is a wonderful city, full of ancient beauty, truly incredible food, and some of the friendliest people you'll meet anywhere on the planet. This city rocks. So sit back and let me show you how to Bangkok the right way.
Tip number 1, how to get around. This city is huge, I mean massive, but it's surprisingly easy to navigate when you know how. To start, getting to the city from the airport is super easy and remarkably cheap. Just follow the signs to the train, select the stop closest to where you're staying, put in your money, collect your plastic coin, and you are good to go. Once you're in the city, you have a few ways to get around. The cheapest is the BTS train system. For usually under 42 baht, it's very cheap and useful, but can sometimes get a little crowded. Helpful hint, the ticket machines only take coins, so unless you want to wait in lines like this one to get change, buy a rechargeable rabbit card. It saves a lot of time. The second way to get around is taxis. Also extremely cheap, but very important, when getting in a taxi, if the driver tries to offer you a set rate, do not let them. Always, I repeat, always go by the meter. I guarantee you it will be cheaper. The only drawback to taxis is you have to contend with the Bangkok traffic. The third way to get around the city is a motorcycle taxi. Very good for avoiding the aforementioned traffic, just, you're getting on the back of a little bike with a stranger in a city full of crazy traffic. Have I done it? Yup. Would I understand if you didn't feel comfortable? Of course. Wimp. The final and arguably most fun way to get around Bangkok is a tuk-tuk. Because they don't run on a meter, they'll be more expensive, but you can barter the rate. And even if they are a little more expensive, they're just plain fun. However, they can try and scam you, which incidentally leads me to tip number 2, scams. When I first arrived in Bangkok, one of the main reasons I didn't love the city is because I felt like everyone was trying to scam me. But once I knew the tricks, I learned they're easy to avoid and I had a much better experience. The first scam is the tuk-tuk driver scam. If a tuk-tuk driver offers to take you on a tour of temples for what seems like an unreasonably cheap price, do not go. They may eventually get you to your destination, but first they're going to drive you to a jewelry store or a hack tailor shop where you'll be hard sold on buying overpriced shit you don't need because the drivers get a kickback commission on anything you buy at these places. You want an actually amazing suit? Go to Raja's in the corner of Soi 8 in Sukhumvit. It's not the cheapest place in town, but for about 500 bucks you can get a fantastic bespoke suit that would easily cost you $2,000 to $3,000 in the States. Plus you get to pretend like you're the baby of David Caruso and Derek Zoolander. Another oddly very popular scam, if somebody stops you on the street and tells you that the attraction or temple that you're going to see is closed, but they'll take you somewhere even better, it is not closed. Trust the hours that you find online. Tip number 3, as far as places to stay in the city, there are a lot of great options from dirt cheap to very expensive. My favorite place to stay is a great little hotel my buddy Quinn recommended me on Soi 4 in Sukhumvit, the Blanket and Bean Inn. For a great room with a big bed, nice bathroom, and the most wonderful staff you could imagine, it'll run you about 35 bucks a night. Sealam is another great centrally located neighborhood with lots going on and lots of good hotel options. If you're looking for the cheapest backpacker type accommodation, head to the famous Khao San Road, a crowded street where the only locals are really street vendors selling cheap suits and sweet little old ladies selling bracelets that say things like the master. Stay here if you must, but please do not let this be your only experience in Bangkok. Tip number 4, if you're in Bangkok over the weekend, you have to visit the Chatuchak Weekend Market. A massive market spanning an area the size of 7 football fields. This market will blow your mind.
This is a big market.
To get there, take the BTS train to Mochit Station, follow the throng of people to Chatuchak Park, and enter the sprawling market. Here you will find art, a vast array of tasty street food, some things you might need, and some things you probably don't need.
It's so crowded. Why are we here again?
Because we promised the kids we'd take them to the market. Te amo el mercado.
Market! God, I hate my life.
Tip number 5, take a trip on the river. In many ways, the Chao Phraya River is the beating heart of the city, and many of the locals still live and commute along the river and its many canals. Just make sure to watch out for these snakehead fish and the giant f***ing lizards. Also, make sure to take one of the long-tail boats. The other options are cheaper, but they will take forever. Tip number 6, I have traveled the world and Bangkok is one of my 2 or 3 favorite places to eat. Here, street food is king. It's fresh, it's plentiful, and don't listen to the pamphlets your travel doctors give you that tell you not to eat the street food, not to eat any fruits or vegetables that you haven't personally peeled, or basically just do anything fun. I've eaten street food in this city for years and I've never once gotten sick. In fact, the only time I remember getting truly sick from food was the night that I ate 2 bags of sugar-free gummy bears in one sitting. Do not do that. I shat for an entire day. An entire day. Natural transition from that, some of my favorite places to eat in Bangkok are Sukhumvit. Here you can find everything from heavenly noodle soups to delectable curry and even fried bugs. Also, the area around Victory Monument is busy with commuters and full of great food options. Yaowarat Road in Chinatown is arguably the best street food in the city, a wonderful mix of Chinese and Thai. Silom, particularly Charing Krung Road, is also a great neighborhood. But to be honest, you can find orgasmic food everywhere you go. My personal recommendation, if a place is busy, especially with locals, it's usually a good sign. And if I had to choose one must-hit restaurant in the city for arguably the best pad thai in Bangkok, head to the very popular Tip Samai. Here they have perfected the noodle dish for which Thailand is most famous. A plate of perfect noodles wrapped in a paper-thin omelet. I wanted to rub some in my hair to save for later. Finally, for dessert, make sure to try the sticky coconut rice with mango.
Show me a dessert in the States that's better than this, and I will chop off my own leg and let you feed it to me.
Tip number 7, if you have a few days, make sure to save one of them for a day trip to any of Bangkok's enchanting floating markets. There are many options, but my personal favorite is the Ampawa floating market about an hour and a half outside the city. Bangkok's second busiest market, it's a nice mix of tourists and locals. There are a few ways to get there, including all-inclusive tours that cost upwards of 50 bucks, but the cheapest way is to catch a minibus from Victory Monument. The minivans aren't fancy, but they're air-conditioned and it will literally only cost you about $5 round trip. Once at the market, you can explore on your own, buy amazing seafood, fresh produce, delicious snacks, and enjoy a truly unique and wonderful lunch experience. Take a seat on the stone steps leading down to the water and watch them cook your food in the boats below. They'll pass your food up and you can dig in on some of the best food I've had in Thailand. My favorite dish is a simple mixed salad with fried egg called Yam Kai Dao. Tip number 8, hit up some of Bangkok's best nightlife. Start your evening on the 68th floor of the Labua Hotel at State Tower. Here you will get some stunning views of the city. Yes, the drinks are a bit pricey by Bangkok standards, but sometimes it's nice to just feel fancy and take in a redonkulous view. In the Silom neighborhood, head to Maggie Chu's. This is one of the coolest bars I've been to anywhere in Asia. You walk down a flight of stairs into what appears to be a Chinese restaurant, but head through the curtain and you find yourself in an amazing speakeasy type bar with great drinks, private rooms with friggin' hobbit doors, excellent live entertainment, and some awesomely weird performance art. Important info, as a guy you need long pants and a shirt that covers your shoulders for both of these bars. Continuing the nightlife theme, hit up a night market. Arguably the most famous is the Patpong Market in Silom, a busy market full of fake Rolexes, cheap jewelry, beautiful crafts, and more dildos than all the man buns in Brooklyn. Another place for some debaucherous evening activity is Nana Plaza, replete with ladyboys, kink shows, and rub and tugs galore. This is also the area to see one of Bangkok's infamous ping pong shows, if you're into that sort of thing. Have I been? Yeah. Tip number 9, Bangkok is a sprawling, hectic, and busy city, but it also has some of the most awe-inspiring temples in Asia. Make sure to hit the Grand Palace. It's been the official residence of the kings of Siam since 1782. Surrounded by 4 walls, it is 2.3 million square feet, and every inch of it astounding. And of course, make sure to take this requisite picture. At Wat Trimet, you can see a 10-foot tall, magnificent golden Buddha, and across the river is the gorgeous Wat Arun, covered in scaffolding right now, but still undeniably beautiful. Don't miss Wat Po, a giant 30-foot high, 150-foot long reclining Buddha. It's one of the most impressive sights I've ever seen. Words and pictures cannot do it justice. Lastly, make the hike to the top of Golden Mount for a beautiful temple and some great views. Bangkok really is a gorgeous city. Make sure to slow down and take it all in. They call Thailand the land of a million smiles. And I can assure you, Thai people are some of the warmest, friendliest, and most helpful people you will meet anywhere in the world. Spend time with them, sit down and eat with them, get to know them. You may be excited to see all of the sights Thailand has to offer, but I promise you, the lasting memories you take home will be of the people you met along the way.